Do you know your mean from your median? Let's go through averages. Let's use the numbers at the top to work out some averages. So we're going to start with the mean, and it's found by adding up all the numbers and then dividing by the amount of numbers. Now the benefit of the mean is that it uses all the numbers, so it makes a good representation of the data. The downside is that it can be influenced by extreme values. Imagine if we had 1,000,000 in this list, what would happen to that mean? The median is the middle number, so you make sure you put all of the numbers in order of size from smallest to biggest, and then find the middle number. So what you can do is cross off 1 from both sides and keep crossing them off until you're left with 1 or 2 in the middle. Here we have 2, so what you do now is add them together and half it, which will give us 7. The median is great at ignoring extreme values because they're the first ones crossed off, but it can be slow to calculate. The mode is the most frequent. You can have more than one mode. Here the mode is 9 because there are 3 9s. If we had 2 modes, we would call that bimodal. The mode average is great at finding the average of non-numerical data, but the weakness of the mode is it ignores most of the data. Finally, the range is not really an average, but is a number that represents an aspect of the data, so we're going to cover it today. You can find the range by doing biggest take away smallest. The range measures the spread of the data, as in how consistent the data is. Let's go through these questions. Let's go through the mean first. So for the mean, we add up all the numbers and divide them by the amount of numbers. So we're going to add up all these numbers and divide them by 7 because there's 7 numbers. This will give us 7.6 rounded to 1 decimal place. Next, look at the median. So the first thing we need to do with the median is put them in order of size. Next, we cross off 1 from each side and keep crossing them off until we're left with 1 or 2 in the middle. We're left with 1 in the middle here, so our median is 7. To find the mode is the most common. Looking at the numbers, 7 comes up the most, so 7 is the mode. And finally, the range is the biggest take away smallest. Our biggest number is 15, our smallest is 4. 15 take away 4 is 11. Let's start with finding the mean. So for the mean, we add up all the numbers, divide them by the amount of numbers. There are 6 numbers, so we're going to divide by 6. That will give us 13.8 to 1 decimal place. Next, to find the median, we put them in order of size. Now, when we cross off 1 from both sides and another 1 from both sides, we're left with 2 in the middle. When we're left with 2, we add them together and divide by 2, or we find the number halfway between them. I know that halfway between 13 and 15 is 14, so our answer is 14. The median is 14. Next, to find the mode, we find the most frequent. But the issue we have here is that 15 comes up twice and 13 comes up twice. This is called bimodal, meaning 2 modes. So the mode is 13 and 15. To find the range, we do biggest take away smallest. So 17 take away 10 is 7. Let's start with finding the mean for these numbers. So we add them all up and we divide them by the amount of numbers. There's 8 numbers this time, so we're going to divide it by 8. That will give us 1.4 to 1 decimal place. Next, to find the median, we put them in order of size. And we cross off 1 from both sides until we're left with 1 or 2 in the middle. We're left with 2 in the middle here, so we need to add them together and divide by 2, or find the number halfway between the two. 1.4 and 1.5, halfway between the two will be 1.45. Next, to find the mode, we find the most common, which by looking at it, it's 1.7. There's 3 of those, so our mode is 1.7. To find the range, we do the biggest take away smallest. The biggest is 1.7, smallest 1.1. Take them away and you get 0.6. Let's finish with this. A shoe shop wants to find their most popular shoe size. Suggest an average they could use to help them. If you know, write it in the comments below. And you can come to onmaths.com or click the link in the description where you can access all of our GCSE papers and predictions for free, and you can even save your scores with a free account. This video is part of a larger GCSE course that you can follow along with at onmaths.com.